Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to this edition of Banknote Searching. And today we have, boom, $300 in ones, and then we also pick up some fives. I don't know if there's anything really in the fives, but we got $200 worth there. So we're going to go ahead and search through them in the hopes that we find some pretty neat errors. We find some older notes. We find some fancy serial numbers. We find some pretty low-run star notes. There is a world of possibility. Now, the whole reason why I'm doing this video is to simply kind of point out and make aware that there are other options if you absolutely cannot find rolled coin because of this quote-unquote coin shortage. Whatever the coin shortage may be, all I know is I have been pretty unsuccessful between a dozen or so banks of trying to obtain measurable amounts of rolls. Okay, they'll give you a couple, two or three of each denomination. I figure, I'd rather, go home with a full box of pennies or nickels or quarters or whatever the case may be. So I'm telling you, this is a great kind of like plan B. Paper money is still plentiful at the bank. So if you went in there without even ordering them in advance, they should be able to give you a nice sizable quantity. Now, if you want more, like if you need like $2,500 in ones, I would certainly call ahead. And if you have a business account, that'll help out even more. All right, so we're gonna go through all this here in a second. Just a few kind of like collector tips. A good magnifier, still a great device to have when you're searching through these notes. I know they're a little bit bigger than coins, but still it's always good to have. I have a little LED light. Now the reason why I use this is to simply check for pinholes on the note, and this one doesn't really have it, but if we need a better example, here's this one here. Don't see anything on this one either. This one's an EPQ, so it wouldn't have any sort of pinhole action. Wouldn't have that designation. But how about this older obsolete? So you guys see a few little pinholes right here, right there. Okay, generally pinholes happen when they thumbtack these to a cork board or they get stapled to a document. Okay, but that's like one of my favorite tools to keep around, and it'll help you determine what grade you have for your notes. So that first bill that I showed you here is one of the things that we're going to look for. This is a low serial number. Now, anything with at least 5 leading zeros like you have here, and then a 3-digit is considered low. Some people have asked me, I have this note that has 4 zeros and then, a 4-digit serial. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty close. You could probably, if you needed to sell it, get a little bit of a premium for it. However, if you did have a 4-digit serial or even a 5-digit, check the run if it's a star note. Okay, that's like the one big exception. If you have a low serial number that's like 5 digits and it's a star note, I would certainly check mycurrencycollection.com. I have the website up. I always have it up when I'm looking through these notes because again, you never know what you're going to find. So I figure let's go ahead and start with this ratty old bunch here. We'll do the fives last. I don't think there was any stars there, but this was packaged August 8th. So that's a relatively new strap or bundle or whatever you want to call it. All right, so if you're not getting full packs from the bank that are still in the shrink wrapped BEP setups, then more likely they're going to end up looking kind of worn, and circulated, much like you see here. Just like with the coins, grade kind of like tells a story from a multitude of different directions. How much it's worth, where the note come from. Is it something that's even worth keeping? So grade definitely matters when it comes to collectability and a sale, if that applies. But for serial numbers, there is a bunch of different types: low serial numbers, high serial numbers, radars or palindromes as they're called, ladders, 7 in a row, full set of 8 of the same serials, among other things. Plus, we'll also look for like web notes, which occur on I believe 1988A Federal Reserve notes. But plus we'll look at other things like misaligned to shift serial numbers and things of that nature. So we're going to go through $300 together and see if we can find anything neat. And I figure, hey, why not? Because if you can't find actual coin, this is like the best next option. So someone had pointed out that they have a note with a slightly upshift last number. Okay, they call that a turned digit. Now, in this particular case, it's within the tolerances of the BEP printing guidelines. So something like this, where you see just a marginal upshift in that last number, really doesn't mean a whole lot. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's only when you see it way high, and sometimes you'll begin to see the next digit on that wheel come up onto that serial number. Now that we're talking about as being a note that's worth a lot of money. Okay, so we're also going to look for mismatched serial numbers. Of course, are always fun. Those can be found. I found a few of them in my time, although I've been through many thousands of dollars of banknotes. So it's going to take a whole world of searching to be able to find something like that. $300 here. I'm hoping we find at least 1 or 2 interesting notes, so I don't know, we'll see. But a lot of the information you need to know is going to be on the front of the note. So far the serial numbers aren't really showing off anything interesting, any neat patterns. I'll also look at birthday notes where you'll have this is a good example, 0331, so that's March 31st, but 5082, that's 3,000 years into the future, so that this doesn't quite apply, but you get the big idea. It could say like 1980, so someone born March 31st 1980 would be pretty cool. So we are close to having a 2-digit serial. Now you're going to get a lot of close calls like this. So it could have been a 2-digit serial where it's just ones and eights, but we got that pesky 5 right here on the 5th digit that just completely ruins it. Now that's a neat looking serial number. However, the 1-5 in the serial number string kind of makes this a moot point. All right, there's no use even keeping that unless you really want to. That is completely up to you. But yeah, we're just gonna go through it. I'm probably gonna talk a little bit less and show you a little bit more. Maybe we'll find something interesting. So we got a 6-digit serial here. And more likely I'll go through it just to make sure I didn't miss anything. A lot of newer notes, 2017's series, which is the newest set so far. But this one still has the folds in the paper as it is in the strap. So I haven't done this in quite a while, and I haven't really paid quite enough attention to the dates on these. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of 2013s and 2017s. So we're seeing the newer notes flood the market, I suppose. I guess this is a sequential. As you can see, the only number different is the last. So these were probably given together, folded in quarters, it looks like. and then stuffed into a wallet. All right. Not uncirculated anymore because they got the folds, in case you were wondering. So we're just going to kind of go through these here and, you know, kind of discuss why you should be looking through paper money. There's a lot of reasons, and a lot of the reasons I had outlined. You know, there's a lot of potential within paper money, although people are kind of avoiding physical, actual paper money because of the virus and all that stuff going around. So, and I don't blame you guys. I certainly don't. See, I'm not even wearing gloves, and it's fine because I'm gonna end up washing my hands after it's all said and done. After we part ways for this evening. So this is going to be my way of trying and making an attempt to inject some different content for you guys. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this and that you'll be discovering some new things about your money. Yeah. I'll be absolutely honest. I'm looking primarily at the serial number patterns and possibly the series date, because you never know when an older note will kind of rear its ugly head. This one is too funny. Yeah, here's another one here. We got a brother and sister note based off of the same folds. Oh, look, we got a twin sister too. And yeah, someone had this in their blue jeans. You could see the staining on there. Wow, I come across those all the time. But this is definitely nice. It's very therapeutic. You know, if you got some, that's the oldest note we've come across so far. 2001 Cleveland district. There you go. She's a beaut, Clark. That's for sure. So we got another, that last 7 in this serial number is slightly turned, but it is not worth keeping. Another thing that people have been kind of taking advantage on is this black seal right here. If you come across one with like an ink blot where someone had, the note was obviously over inked in certain areas, people do find those. They end up selling them for like $10. Something interesting. That's something I just recently discovered, probably, oh boy, about a year ago. Same with the, you know, if you find a star note replacement. Now take a look at this one. This is something interesting that, you know, is so subtle. But if you take these 2 notes right here, okay, so this one right here, I just put into the scrap pile. Look at the seals. So they're slightly off. The serial number is further to the left compared to the other one. You know, it's just, you know, little nuances like that. Oh yeah, how off center this seal is. Yeah, it's just crazy. Although that presents no real premium. So there you go. So a little something else that you guys learned in this video. Let's see, yeah, they're all turned upside down here. Yeah, so the serial number patterns are probably one of the most overlooked aspects of a banknote. Okay, and that's understood. You know, very, very rarely do people actually sit there and stare at a serial number. You know, other than to play liar's dice. So, you know, but you know, if you find the right serial number type, you know, and it could be something that could be worth $100 or more, or even more than that. You just never know. So you get these little double repeated numbers. You know, they look neat, but they're nothing in this one. So I'm hoping to find something pretty neat here. 2021. It's next year. I don't know what the 9868 would represent, but I like the notes that have the two of the same digit right smack dab in the middle, and hopefully they follow suit on each side. That would be a radar note. The first four numbers repeat in a mirrored fashion for the rest of the serial number. So it's pretty neat. I found a number of those. I found 4-digit repeaters and all sorts of great stuff. All right, so believe it or not, that's $100 we just went through. All right, and nothing, no star notes, which is fine. I've gone through that quantity of notes before without finding a star note, but yeah, that's the first one there. So go ahead and put this aside, and then we'll go ahead and rip into this next one here. So I hope you guys are having a beautiful Monday, 2003A. And that you're taking it easy. So we have another sequential here. Someone had asked me, they own notes that are sequential in nature, and they own like 5 in a row or 10 notes. It's really not that difficult to find a full strap, provided that you had received a Bureau of Engraving and Printing brick, where you're going to come across, full straps that are consecutive through all 100 notes. What's even more remarkable is finding a full strap that's consecutive for those 100 notes, and then have one that's a star. Okay, the star note just really denotes that it's a replacement note for a misprinted bill or a damaged note. So, if there was a damaged note in that string of 100, then it would be replaced and you would have a star. Those are just really, really neat. So here's another sequential. So you got 1657 and 1658. Again, that's nothing substantial. Although these notes, this is a great example of bills that are truly like crisp, uncirculated, maybe 64 CU. The margins are really nice. Top to bottom, it's a little bit off. This is a little bit thinner here compared to the top. But there you go. That's a pretty nice, note right there. Probably a 64-ish type note. So I was going to throw that away. Seeing slightly turned 4 in that serial number. You'll see it in both strings. Someone's phone number, do not call unless you want to. Like, hey, you wrote on some currency. I think that's against the law, dude. Just give them a really hard time and then, tell them you got punked. Not really, don't do that. So, another turned digit slightly. Again, they're not rare. As you can see, we've come across a good fair share of those. And this is crazy. Every single note is flipped on there. Because of all the hard work I'm doing with flipping the notes over, I'm kind of missing out on like, oh yeah, does this one have a mismatched serial? I'm usually pretty good at quick scanning the numbers of both sets, because you have to look at both sets to really know if you have a mismatch. It's been my experience. Look at all the 6s. It's been my experience that mismatched serials are most commonly found on 1976 series $2 bills, and apparently there's still quite a few of them out there in the banking system. So a little personal Blue Ridge Silverhound tip for you guys. If you wanted to find something like that, check out $2 bills, because they seem to pop up more often in that denomination. All right, so We're not quite halfway here, so we're just going to go ahead and keep going and see what we get. It really is luck of the draw. You know, you'll come across something, or you may not come across anything at all. But if you see a little bit of an over-inked 6, which is normal compared to this one, this is a normal. They added more ink to this serial wheel. But like I had mentioned, you have to keep plugging away. You know, $300 seems like quite a bit, but it's really not. It's not that much. If you were going to search, so anyone born 1968. So another slight turn digit here. I mean, you can try and sell the turn digits. I've sold a few of them for $5, but they were talking like 5 years ago. So this one's in rough shape. Yeah. Pretty rough. Triple six at the end. Nothing fantastic. It looks like we got another sequential here. 1875, 1874. So it's backwards. So there you go. Same serial, right? With slightly turned 4 in the end of that one there. Yeah, see, I come across a whole bunch of those. Quite a few of them. Let me see if I could just kind of flip all these over to make it easy for us, or else it's going to kill your guys' eyes. Because my shoulder, it's giving me shoulder pain for having to flip all these notes over. So there you go. All right, where were we before we were so rudely interrupted? Right. See, it just flows. Now you could quick scan the numbers a little bit easier. It's kind of practice. You need to practice. Because see how quickly I was going through the notes. I actually scanned both sets in that little bit of time. So as I'm moving the note over to go to the next one, I had already read both serial number strings to see if there's a mismatch. It's something that you have to train yourself to do to be quick and efficient, especially if you're going through thousands of dollars in banknotes. To look for something really, really cool. You know, obviously, you want to be able to go through a large volume of these notes in the shortest amount of period of time, because that's the only way it's going to be worth your while. Oh, Blue Ridge, looking through banknotes is a joke. You shouldn't even do it. I do it all the time. Or now I'm going to go back to doing it since I can't get... roll coin. Say I lost my train of thought because I'm concentrating 4, 5, 6. I want to find a ladder 1 through 8. I've gotten close once. And I think there was one number right in the middle. See how spectacular this note could have been if it was a 1 or a 7 on the last 2 digits. But that's how close you are. I mean, you're within like 40 digits on the serial to get something amazing. Sometimes you'll have luck of the draw. You'll go to a restaurant and you'll get your change back. 1987. I noticed little stuff like that. It's not a bad trait for sure. 7474. 4627, 4534. You'll go through enough of these, you're like, oh, well, okay, yeah, that number has a very special meaning in my life. You'll read like maybe 3 or 4 digit set right in the middle of the serial number, and like, okay. So this is relatively neat. The name for this is kind of like a short repeater, even though it's got 2 zeros. But it's 419419. Now it is on a 2013. This is probably more along the lines of a VF20 graded note. I mean, it's soiled. You got this middle fold. It's got a couple folds going this way at one point. But this is what I would consider to be a neat note. Is it worth anything? Well, to the right person, it might be worth about $5. But something like this, it's not considered in the fancy serial number currency collecting, community as being anything other than just a 6-digit number, in spite of the fact that it's 419419. All right, somebody have a 419 area code. I don't even know where that is. I'm gonna put that one aside. I don't know why. It's just interesting. But just to reiterate, it's probably not worth a whole heck of a lot. Now, here's another one, kind of back to back. This is crazy. All right, so you got a pair, like bookends. So you got 22 and 88, but in the middle you got 9696. Okay, in the traditional fancy serial number community sense, this is nothing. Okay, it's not considered anything. Some will try to fabricate some made up serial number string. It's got a teller stamp, by the way, so that kind of hurts the actual grade, even though it's a low ball type note. But yeah, there you go. That's another instance of something interesting that comes along that people pull out, and they'll reach out to me and say, hey, what do I got here, Sean? Well, oh boy, do you want the good news or the bad news? I don't know. But anyways, it's a lot of fun. It's interesting to look through these. I mean, these have obviously passed through many hands. This day and age, I don't know if that's a good thing, because everyone is all still pretty worried about the worldwide events that's making everybody sick. All right, so we got our last strap here, and then we'll look through those fives. I'll show you a neat little trick. You probably have seen it on YouTube verse, but I figured I'll show it to you again. Let me go ahead and go through these and make sure they're all flipped over. I'll save you guys the aggravation, that's for sure. All right, so I guess that's about $50 there. So we'll go ahead and breeze through this. We're almost at 30 minutes, so I don't want to keep you guys any longer than I should. But there's a reason why we go through dollar bills, because it's the smallest denomination. You could buy a lot more of it at one time and just kind of expose yourself to the quantity. Whereas if you bought, 20s or 10s or 100s or 50s, those are obviously much more desirable. If you got the indispensable income to do that, you can, but you also have to keep in mind, if you find a fancy serial number on a $100 bill, generally kind of like the lower tier stuff, like a radar or a double quad or, something to that effect, they are going to be worth less compared to finding the same serial number string in a 2009. So a $100 bill with a radar is going to be worth not a whole heck of a lot over face value, because it's already a higher denomination. So keep that in mind. All right, so we've come across two leading zeros, 6-digit serials. We want to try and find something that's a lot lower. We haven't found a star, which is quite remarkable. Usually I'm good for maybe 2 or 3 stars out of this amount of money. But it won't be the first time that I've skunked out on stars. Ooh, that's kind of neat. But the 1 and a 9 should really be a 7 and a 6. Oh, that's interesting. There's 5 zeros there. It's too bad the 5 is there and not another 3 or another 0. I mean, if it was a 0, we'd have a radar, 2-digit radar. But again, I have to throw that back because, you know, it is really nothing. It is nothing. All right, so we're almost done. We got the last like $50 here. Let me go ahead and fix these up for you guys. So I hope you guys are learning at least one thing in tonight's video. The paper money searching topic has been talked about quite extensively here on YouTube Verse, and whatever your feelings are toward searching currency, you know, some people will say, well, a dollar bill ain't worth nothing, you know, fiat currency is worth nothing. Right? This is just an alternative till we get more coins rolling. Apparently there's going to be a huge amount of brand spanking new 2020 coinage. I guess I was a little bit wrong in kind of my crystal ball prediction about how there was going to be a shortage of 2020 coins because of the lack of production, but they are actually the US Mint. If you guys haven't seen their video on their US Mint YouTube channel, David Ryder had announced that it is going to be a record production year for coins all across the board. So that's all denominations will be just out there, a lot of it. All right, so let's go ahead and bring this old dog home, and maybe we'll find a little something, a little nice little banger, because it's got to be worth it, right? But hey, you guys got to hang out with me. The next time you'll see me will be on Thursday. I'm not doing a video, I think, for the next 2 days, as I try and figure out, you know, what my next source of video is going to be. I think I'm going to do this 1940s Lincoln wheat cent bag. I might actually do that video tomorrow. There's another turn 7 there. But I will be live on our Q&A channel, and it will be hosted by me this week. So if you guys are available Thursday, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, please do join us. We're going to have Paula Bloom. We're going to have Chris. We're going to have Shay from Mantic Coins. And if you guys haven't joined up to some of these channels, we got Blues Coins, we got Jeff Stanley and Octane. Oh, very nice. Okay, so we got our first star note. It might be the only one. I don't think I saw another one when I was flipping through them. So it's a 2013 Dallas Star. So we'll actually take a little time to research that on my currency collection here in a bit. And if it's a high run, like we're talking like 3.2 million or 2 million or something, then it's going to go back in this pile. And then back to the bank, rinse and repeat, right? Okay, well, that's going to do it. We got a 1926 note. It's an old one. It's almost 100 years old. All right, so we didn't find a low serial number like that guy there, but that's okay. I figured, hey, let's go through the fives real quick. Let's see what we got here. So the little trick that apparently is all over, or not all over, but you see Batman's face right here? It's got the 2 eyes and the nose. So our friend's son actually pointed out, I didn't even know it. And here's his Batmobile right here. So here's a little windshield there, that little cutout in the D, a little space there. So you got Batman, and then you got the Batmobile. I just thought it was cute. He's what is he, like 10 years old, 9 years old? So he's very observant. I think he got it from someone else on YouTube. So I don't know, pretty cool, good stuff. Thank you to that young man. I'm telling you, young folks in the hobby is always greatly appreciative You guys are going to be the next generation that takes this all over from us. And I am okay with that. Because I can't certainly I can't certainly be buried with my coins. And my family's not going to keep them. All right, $5 bills. So we only got a little bit of them, $200 worth. So, wow, that's a lot of ones in there, but nothing spectacular. I kind of miss the small head, older notes. I know they've been gone for 30 plus years, but I just figure I'd reminisce a little bit. Really didn't find anything. That's cool. Look at 4 2s in a row, but yeah, that's nothing. That is nothing, I'm afraid to say. Now, if the Y and 3 were also 2s, that'd be a super radar, I believe, because it's 6 of the same number in the middle and then 2 bookends. It could be 0s, could be 1s. But yeah, that's close, but yet so far. You know what's strange? Didn't even find a birthday note. I usually find one out of like every $200 searched. So yeah, that's crazy. I thought I saw a squirrel. That's why I went back. 30, 45, 1905. Nope, that is not a birthday. It's not anything. All right. Whoop, whoop. Last 2. Oh, no. Nothing there, guys. All right, believe it or not, we went through $500 in paper. All right. You could call it a waste of time or whatever you want, but hey, at least we got to spend some time together. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick little star note lookup here on this guy. So we just have to type in that serial number with the star on the end, and we don't see any over inking in the star. See that little white dot in the middle? People have been finding over inked, completely filled stars, and they're selling them for like $100 a piece. It's actually a real thing, and the graders are grading them, believe it or not. So we just kind of, have to plug in all of the usual stuff. So we got a dollar bill here. It's a 2013. You want to make sure you put in all the correct information, and then we go ahead and type in everything that we have here and hope for the best. If it's and then we use the asterisk symbol for this star, and then look up your star note. There you go. 3.2 million. That is nothing to write home to mother about. It is worth $1, and it's worth less because of it. Okay, well, there you go. And that's going to go ahead and conclude it for the evening. I hope you guys had a good time. Sorry to keep it so long, but hey, we went through $500, and I hopefully that you learned a thing or two. That's important. Yeah, we're gonna be doing more of these. Okay, yeah, this one's pretty neat. Check this out. 00419419. For whatever it's worth, it's neat looking, but it's not. It's not a real fancy serial number. I'll double check through all these notes to make sure I didn't miss anything, error-wise or, something like that. But thank you guys again for joining on this episode of Blue Ridge Silverhound's magical, wonderful tour of currency searching. All right, so that's going to do it. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell. Instant notification. I'll see you next time. Coinaholics, discovering together. Take care. Have a nice evening.